Vetter. People that are in 7th grade saw Jim Vetter last year in a program that he did. It was already enjoyed because we invited him back this year. So please give a nice round of applause.
Right. Good morning. Ooh, that was good. Let's do that again. Good morning. All right. As Ms. Clark just told you, my name is Jim Vetter, and the show today is about self-esteem. It's about emotions. It's about what people feel inside. Now, as some of you remember, I'm an actor. So in just a second, I'm going to be acting out some scenes for you today, portraying different characters. But I'm also going to need a lot of brain power from you. So I tell you what, before I go ahead, let's do some quick brainstorming right now. Here's what I want to do. I want to brainstorm as quickly as we can up on the board a list of feelings. A list. I'll tell you what are some of the emotions that somebody in your grades, 7th grade, 8th grade, might typically have during the day? Who's got one? What's an emotion somebody might have during the day? Yes. Absolutely. She said one emotion people might have is, let's do this one at a time. She said depression. Yeah, and actually that one's a tough one. Depression, because depression, what that is, it's sometimes when we're feeling so many things at the same time, we don't know what we're feeling, that we decide to take all those feelings and just shut them off. That's what depression is. That's a hard one. Who's got some others? What are some other feelings that yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're not always depressed. Sometimes, right, sometimes things go well. We feel happy. Who's got another one? What's another emotion people in your grade might have typically during the day? Yes. Mad, absolutely. He said another typical feeling might have is angry. Yeah, something happens we don't like. We start to feel angry. Yeah, a couple more, right there. Stressed. Absolutely. He said stressed. Stressed. Just a couple more. Way in the back there. Lonely. Yeah, sometimes. Right. You know, maybe there's somebody in school here. You know, probably all of us here, everybody here probably has some people in school who are friends of yours, people you like. But, you know, somebody here might have, some of you also probably have somebody here who you like. You know, the kind of person where when you walk into school, beginning of the day, you see them down the hallway, you kind of go, and then one day, you walk into school, and down the end of the hallway, you see this person who you like. And you see that instead of being with you, there they are with their arms around someone else. And you walk down the hallway, you thought you were going to be with them. You walk down the hallway, and you might feel a little lonely. Yeah. Let's grab maybe just a couple. Do you have a couple more? Couple more emotions? Yes. Couple more. Frustrated. Absolutely. Frustrated. Frustrated. Alienated. Now, by the way, alienated does not mean you feel like an alien. That's different, okay? Okay, so, one more, yes. Bored, absolutely. Said sometimes, yeah. Said bored, right? Sometimes, you're just sitting there. And you're sitting there. And you're sitting there, and all you feel is kind of bored. Okay, so let's get some ideas. Who can tell me this? What are some things that might typically happen during a day in 7th, 8th grade where someone might feel stressed? What's something that might happen where somebody might feel stressed? Who's got one? Test. Absolutely. Said, a test. Right. Come in, all of a sudden, you've got a pop quiz. You're like, whoa. Right. You're sitting down there. The paper comes to you. You look at it. You go, I don't know this stuff. Yeah. You might feel a little stressed. Okay, so what's something that might typically happen during a 7th, 8th grade day where you might feel frustrated? Where you feel frustrated. What's something where you might feel frustrated? I can tell that stealing books is a big theme over in this corner. Yes. Homework. Absolutely. He said, homework. Absolutely. So you might be sitting there, maybe, what's one thing you're working on right now in math? What's the toughest thing you're working on? Yeah. You get one of those math problems. Which one? I'm sorry, yes, what kind of?
Backwards multiplication.
Good, backwards multiplication, right? So you're sitting there, you're sitting at home, you've got your backwards multiplication, you're looking at this thing, you're thinking, backwards multiplication, does that mean I have to do it like this? Backwards multiplication? Right. It's not working, you start to feel frustrated. How about, what's something where you might feel angry? Something might happen. Typically during, absolutely. He said, when people, now, over in this corner, we definitely have a book stealing issue over here. I don't know what this is about. He said, somebody steals your books. So, how about this? What's something might happen typically during 7th, 8th grade day where you might feel happy? Yeah. Very nice, very nice. What else? All right. They said, going home at the end. Okay, so we know there are a lot of feelings people have during a typical day. And we know there are a lot of different things that happen that can trigger these feelings. A lot of different things might happen during the day. We might have any of these feelings. But what's interesting is this. If we look at the list that we had, and we look at the things that might happen, where we might have all these different feelings, what you notice is this. For any of these situations, there's not a single situation up there on the board where everybody here in this room would necessarily have the same feeling. Right? There are going to be some people who, when they get home and get that backwards multiplication problem, are not going to feel frustrated. They might, in fact, if they've been doing it for a long time, they might feel bored. There are going to be some people who, when it comes time for that test, right, they sit down there, the test comes. There might be some moments, you can think of moments, where instead of feeling stressed, maybe you felt excited, maybe you felt proud. There's some times when you discover that someone has stolen your books. That instead of feeling mad, maybe you just felt really interested in why somebody would do that. And even when it comes to feeling happy, there's some folks who, when it comes time to go home, they don't feel happy about it. Who can give me, it's a good question. She said, why not? Why is it, yeah, absolutely. She answered her own question, which was she asked, why not? Why wouldn't somebody feel great about going home? Well, and her answer was, they have to put up with their parents when they go home. So, we know we've got a lot of feelings, and we know that none of those feelings are based on just what happens. None of what we feel is only based on what happens outside. it's also based on what happens inside. And that's what the show's about today. It's about self-esteem. I'm sure all of you have heard of that before. Who can give me a quick definition? What does that mean, self-esteem? What's it mean? Absolutely. Self-esteem is how you feel about yourself inside. And we know some days that's easy, right? Those are the days when you wake up in the morning, you look out the window, it's a beautiful sunny day, all day long. Everything you do seems to go right. On those days, it's easy, no matter what happens, to still feel good about yourself. But if you're like me, you have some other days too. Those are the days when, first thing in the morning, you got to kind of drag yourself out of bed. You look out the window, it's all gray and disgusting outside. All day long, everything you do seems to mess up. On those days, it is 10 times more important to still feel good about yourself inside. And that's what the show's about. I'm going to show you some scenes of people who are having some good times, some good days, and some tough times. And I'm going to need your brainstorming help to figure out what they can do inside themselves in the tough situations to still feel good about themselves. First scene is about a guy. His name is Bill. And if you saw him right then, you'd see, in this moment, he was having kind of a tough day. He looks like this. I'm out of here. I'm so out of here. You know what I'm going to do? I don't care where. I'm just going to run. I'm going to start running. I'm going to run now. I'm going to keep running. I'm never going to come back. I mean, this was a lousy day. But you know the weird part? The weird part is it started out like a good day. Got up this morning, went down to breakfast. My dad already poured me a big glass of orange juice. I made it out to school on time. I had done my homework. Walked into school. 2 of the most popular kids in school said hello to me. And this morning, my class had 2 tests. History test, I did just okay. Science test, it's not my best subject. I had studied really hard. For the first time in science, I got an A. And I knew this was going to be a good day, because today is the day that my class has gym class. And in gym class, yeah, we've been doing gymnastics, like, yeah, all those flips and balances and things. But you know, that's when things started to mess up. Because when I got down to the gym, I saw that Mr. Greenlee hadn't put the mats on the floor. Instead, in the middle of the gym floor was a big bucket full of tennis balls. Mr. Greenlee said, "We're finished with gymnastics unit. It's time to work on hand-eye coordination, throwing and catching." Started out easy. Greg, then Mr. Greenlee told us every time we threw it, we had to take another step back. Great, come on. Man, I can't do this. That's when it started to happen. I started to miss the ball. Man, I'm so stupid. I can never do anything right. And the more stupid I felt, the more stressed out and nervous I got. oh man, the more nervous I got, the more angry I got. The more angry I got, the more I missed the ball. Soon I was running all over the gym, just trying to catch the thing. I could tell everybody in the whole school was looking at me. Finally, gym class was over. It was time for lunch. Hey, you know what? I mean, maybe it wasn't such a bad morning. I mean, you know, I bet maybe none of the other kids even saw that I kept missing the thing. You know, yeah. My dad packed my favorite sandwich, peanut butter, mustard. Hey, nobody ever steals my lunch. Yeah. And then, finally, the day was over. I got out, I was crossing through the park. I saw that two of the most popular kids, they were putting together this big softball game. Everybody was playing. We stood up against the fence, and the captains, they picked the teams. Soon, everybody was on a team, except for little Richie and me. Oh, this was such a good game. Our two teams were so evenly matched, we were neck and neck the whole time. And then, it was my turn at bat. Michael was pitching. Yeah. Warm up. The pitch. Yes! Rachel was playing. She was up next. Michael pitched it. Bang! Yes! Bam. Yes. Jose was up next. Michael pitched it. Boom! Yes! Out! Was our third out. We were playing to 15 points, score was tied, 14 all. We changed sides. The captain stuck me way out in right field. Right field. Nothing comes to right field in our games. And then Big Alan stepped up to the plate. He is the biggest kid in our whole school. Yeah, he said, you better take a step back. I'm going to slam this ball all the way to the old ladies' yard on the other side of town. Danny is pitching. The windup, the pitch, boom! Way up in the air it went. Up. Up, up, and then it was coming. It was coming. It was coming down, down, down. It was coming right to me. I ran as quickly as I could. I grabbed the thing. I threw it to home. Alan had already made it home. We lost the game. It's all my fault. I'm so stupid. Can never do anything right. And then I noticed everybody on both teams, they were looking at me. I'm not going to let them see how I feel. They were laughing at me. Yeah, I'll talk to my friends. Yeah, hey, Rachel. Rachel. Rachel wouldn't even look at me. Craig, buddy. Craig was looking at me. Craig was laughing. Yeah, you know what? I don't need these friends. No, I don't need any of these kids. I don't need this game. I don't need this town. I don't need any of this. I'm never going to play this again. Forget this. I'm just getting out of here. That's what I'm doing. I'm just going to get out of here. I'm going to move so fast. I'm going to get going now. I'm going to keep going. I'm never going to come back. Ever. So right now you can see Bill was having a little bit of a bad day. But you know, just like we saw in the beginning, what made it a really horrible day was not just the events that happened. It was what he said to himself about what it meant. Right? We heard him. Right? From the beginning, he started saying, man, I'm so stupid. I can never do anything right. Yeah, we lost this game. This was all my fault. You know what I'm going to do? Forget this. I'm just going to give up on this. I'm going to run away so fast. I'm never going to try this again, ever. And every time he said something like that inside his own head, he felt worse and worse. But you know what? Let's try this in a different direction. Right now, in this game, in this real life situation here, did he mess up? Did he miss the ball? Sure, absolutely. Right? That was real life. So if he says to himself, hey, I didn't miss the ball, then it's just like being crazy, right? That's not true. So what could he say? What right now? Inside his mind right now. Nice. He said, it's all right. Yeah, it's a start. He could say, hey, look, it's okay. I missed the thing. It's true. I missed it. It's okay. What else could he say? What else could he say right now inside his head? When he honestly did miss the ball. Yes. Nice. She said, well, that's a good one too. She said, I tried. Yeah, he could say, hey, look, it's true. I missed this thing, but you know what? I tried. A lot of kids, they've been out here this far. If the ball was popped up that high, that hard to catch, you would just watch it go by. That's not me. I tried. It's nice. What else? What else could he say inside his mind?
Just a game.
Nice. They said, it's just a game. They said, hey, look, this thing's a game. It's supposed to be fun. You're going to mess up sometimes. Yeah, right back there. Oh, you're thinking the same thing? Great. Okay. So what about this? He's also saying inside his mind, he's saying, I'm so stupid. I can never do anything right. Do you think that's true? No. I don't think that's true of anybody. So who can tell me, just out of the scene we saw, what were some of his strengths? What were some of the things that he did well, or even just good events that day? Things you could think about instead. What was one thing? Yes. Yeah, yes. Could you say, yeah, absolutely. Saying on the test. Yeah, on the test, he studied hard. I got an A. Yes. Yeah, he was early to school. Right, got there right on time. Nice. What else? Yes. The sandwich? Absolutely. Yeah, peanut butter and mustard creation? Absolutely. But his books didn't get stolen? Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Yeah. I missed the very end of that. Can you say that again? Nice observation. Great observation. He said he got a good hit. Sometimes when we're feeling really lousy about ourselves, it's because we are only focusing on the things that went wrong. Even in the same game, where he honestly missed it. Right? He made the error, he missed the ball. In the same game, he made a hit. He made it to third, Rachel brought him home. He didn't just lose a point for his team, he gained a point. So, what about this? Maybe it doesn't matter to him whether or not he learns to catch the thing. Right? It's no big deal, right? He's good at other things. He was good at gymnastics. But what if he does care? What could he do? Absolutely. Yeah, she said practice. Right? If he got a ball, went out behind his house every day, little by little, do you think he'd get better? Sure, about anything that you care about. But what about this? He's doing this thing. He's going out there every day. He's working the hardest he can. He's doing the best he possibly can, but it's still slow. He's still not learning as fast as he wants to learn. What can he do to speed it up? Nice. She said get a friend to help. Always a good idea. Anytime we're working on something that's tough, always a good idea to talk with somebody else, get some help. So I'll tell you what, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this scene as though it's a movie on videotape. I'm going to hit the rewind button. We're going to go right back into the middle of the scene, right to the place where he misses. And in this scene, he is still going to miss. Because sometimes in life that just happens. But let's see, with the ideas you just gave him inside his mind, if he feels differently about himself. Like this. Boom! Way up in the air it went. Up, 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 and then it was coming. It was coming. It was coming down, down, down. It was coming right to me. We lost the game. It's all my fault. I'm not stupid. No, I mean, this thing's a game. And I was up there. I tried my best. And you know, okay, I don't like it that I missed the thing, but you know, this morning, on the science test, I got an A. And, you know, even inside this game, okay, I missed it, it's true. But I also scored. I got to run. And, you know, back when we were doing gymnastics, I was pretty good. Hey, Craig, come on. Craig, we get together after school? We hang out? Practice? Yeah? Hey, everybody, let's play another game. So, even though he still missed, with the ideas you just had inside his head, he felt better about himself inside. And that's the first key. The first secret is this. No matter what happens outside, you can still have a difference about what happens inside. But you know what some people do instead? What some people do is this. When they have lots of feelings they don't like, what some people do is this. They take all the feelings and they go, shoo. They lock those feelings inside. But what I found is this. If you have a lot of emotions inside and you don't talk to somebody, the emotions get bigger and bigger and bigger. If you have a problem and you don't talk to someone, the problem gets worse and worse and worse, and that's what this next scene's about. This scene's about a girl. And this girl's name is Maura. Maura, if you met her, you would have seen she had long black hair. She liked to wear a crisp white shirt. She wore dark blue jeans, and she always wore shiny black shoes. But you know, none of those things are what you would have noticed first about Maura. The thing people noticed first about Maura was, in fact, her smile. Because she always had this same little smile. No matter what she was feeling, she never said a word. Maura just kept smiling. Like, first thing in the morning, she was sitting down at breakfast, and her baby brother took 2 fingers, stuck them right in the jar of peanut butter. Maura had worked for half an hour on her hair. Michael took the peanut butter, smeared it all over the side of her hair. Maura didn't say a word. She just kept smiling. Outside of school, when she was waiting in front of her house for the bus, and a huge gust of wind came along, blew all of her books, her papers, her report into the mud, Maura didn't say a word. She just kept smiling. Outside of school, when Alan came along, Maura didn't say a word to anyone. She just kept smiling. But you know, the more that Maura didn't tell anybody what was really happening inside, the more that she kept all the feelings locked in, the more she felt as though something was starting to change inside of her. Now, she'd never actually seen the change, but she thought it must look like this. Now, Maura had never actually seen this monster grow up inside of her, but the more she kept all her feelings locked inside, the bigger she felt it get, until it started to show itself. Like, first thing in the morning, she was sitting there at breakfast, and her baby brother took 3 fingers, stuck them right in the jar of raspberry jam, smeared it all over the other side of her hair. Maura didn't say a word. But that monster grabbed a hold of Maura's orange juice glass, smashed it all over the kitchen floor. Back outside of school, when Alan came back again, Maura didn't say a word to anyone. But that monster reached out one gigantic claw, swung it right at a little kindergartner who was swinging on the swings, knocked him off the swings, sent him sailing in the air all the way into the parking lot. Now, Maura knew this was not okay. She knew she had to do something. So that night, she waited. She walked through the dark streets. She went past Rachel's house and Ellen's, Craig's, Bill's, Big Alan's. She walked all the way to the edge of town, all the way till she reached the old woman's house.
Oh, Come right in, my dear. Don't be frightened. I've been expecting you.
Expecting me? How can you have been expecting me? I never talked to anybody. I didn't tell anyone I was going to come.
Well, let's just say that I thought you'd come to visit sooner or later. Now, what can I do for you?
But Maura had never told anybody what she felt. She didn't know what to say.
I can see in your face what the problem is. You have something trapped deep inside of you. You need some help in getting it out. But my help might not be quite what you expect.
I've heard that you can help people. Please?
Very well.
And the old one reached into her pocket and handed Maura a crumpled piece of paper.
Read this out loud.
So, Maura read. On the paper, what it said was, I feel happy, sad, angry, scared. It was just a list of emotions. But at the bottom it said, how do you feel? And when Maura started to speak these emotions out loud, she felt something change. All of a sudden, in front of Maura, there appeared a gigantic black mountain. What's that?
Take a step back and see.
Maura stepped back. There wasn't one mountain, there were two. And above them, she saw the body of a gigantic girl. A girl with shiny black hair, a crisp white shirt, dark blue jeans, and those were shiny black shoes.
Those words have taken you outside of yourself. And you are so small now that you can go inside yourself and have a look. Are you ready for a journey?
The old woman reached down one gigantic finger and Maura stepped on board. The old woman lifted her up, placed Maura right on the edge of Maura's own ear. It was dark. She took a step, another step, another, and then her feet slipped. She fell! She landed someplace warm, dark, slimy. She didn't know where to go. Maura didn't want to run anymore. She gathered up all her courage. She could feel that monster right behind her. She turned to face it, and right behind her, there it was. But when Maura stopped, looked at what was really inside of her up close, it looked different. She saw that this monster, well, one side of its hair was smeared with peanut butter, the other with raspberry jam. She saw those two huge claws were just caked with mud from the puddle by her bus stop. And on each of the gigantic shoulders was the handprint of Big Allen. The thing that looked so terrible were just some things that had happened that day. And the more she looked inside herself up close, the more what she saw started to change. Until soon, all she saw was the face of a very angry girl. Suddenly, she was back in her own bedroom. She was looking at her own face in the mirror. And from that day on, Maura changed. Now, when she was sad, she talked to a friend. When she was scared, she looked for help. When she was angry, like the next morning, she was sitting there at breakfast, and her baby brother picked up the entire jar of honey, went to pour it on her head. She said, "Michael, stop. I feel really mad when you do that." And for once, he didn't. But in fact, the biggest change in Maura was not what happened when she was sad or scared or angry. The biggest change, when she told people what she felt, was what happened when she was happy. Because now, when she was happy, she didn't just have that same little smile. Now, when she was happy, she was really happy. Now, when Maura smiled, it was the biggest smile anybody had ever seen. And that's the end of the story. So what kind of feelings was she having during that experience? Let's do a quick list. What was she feeling? Mad, absolutely. Yeah, angry. A lot of anger. And you know, sometimes when we feel really angry, it can be tough to know what to do. And that's, oh, actually, this next, actually for this next section, you know what, for this next section, instead of acting out this next section, to this next section, really what I need are 2 more actors. Yeah, we got some actors here. We got people who like to get up on stage, use their bodies, use their voices, so everybody can really see and hear them. We got incredible choices of actors here. Tell you what. Yes, girl right back there, would you help me? Yep. Go ahead, come on up. Give a big round of applause. Come on up. So, here's what we're going to do. I'll just step right in the front here. So, first part, now that we got new actors on stage, we're just going to give our actors a chance to introduce themselves. Very easy. I'm just going to say my first name. I will point to you. Just shout your first name. Same thing. First name, point to you. Ready? Yes, Angela, here's the scene. We're going to make believe it's after school. We're going to make believe the 2 of you would like just to relax. You're going to watch television. The only problem is the 2 of you have decided on different shows. So, Chris, name a TV show that's on after school. Doesn't matter, whatever. Very nice, very nice. Let's give him some ideas. What are some shows that are on after school? Can you shout out? General Hospital. Okay, what else? MTV, yeah, what else? Ricky Lake. Ricky Lake's another one. What else? Simpsons, right, absolutely. What else? Right? Yeah. Okay. So you can pick from those or any other. So Oprah and Ricky Lake. Okay, so Oprah wants to watch Ricky Lake. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to try this situation 2 ways. First is the way that people do when they take a problem like this and they escalate it. They make it worse. Second time, we're going to see if they can turn it around. Instead, no matter what they feel, make things better. So here's what we're going to do. If you just step on back right over by the piano over here. You step on back over here, over on the other side. When I say go, I want you to run up. Whoever gets to this TV set first, you turn it on. Other person, change the channel. And first time, actually, let's give them some ideas. What are things that people might do in this situation that would escalate the problem, that would make the problem? Yes. Swearing, punching each other, yes. Get into a physical fight. What else? What else would make things worse? Wrestling with each other. What else? What would make it worse? Arguing. Absolutely. Not listening to each other, just arguing about it, yes. What would make it worse? That's physical fighting, yes. Okay, so, yes. Pushing each other would definitely make it worse. Okay, so, here's what we're going to do. When I say go, I want you to run on in there. Whoever gets there first, turn it on, and then do whatever it takes. You're going to get your show on. We'll make things worse. Ready? And watch what they do. Go! Good. Tell each other at least tell each other what show you want to see. Keep going. Okay, keep going, keep going. Good. And stop. Did they escalate it? Okay. Yeah, they made it worse. So, what are some ways, instead of making it worse, do you think in a situation like this, is it okay for them to have a whole bunch of different feelings, for them to have anger? Yeah, sure. So, what could they do? In a situation like this, how could they resolve it? How could they make it better instead? Yes. Compromise. Nice. What are some compromises they can come up with? Yes. Half an hour of each show might work? Yes. Okay. Would that work? For both? No. They can watch Maury Povich instead. Absolutely, yes. Okay, they can look for another TV? Yep. I'm sorry, yes. Buy another television set. That might take a little money, yes?
They can probably watch a different show.
Watch a different show? Okay, here's what I'm going to do. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. When I say go, you're going to run back in again just the way you did. When you get on there, I want you to make it worse just the way you did. Then in the middle of it, I'm going to say work it out. When I do that, what you need to do is just take a second, stop, take a breath, cool it down, and then it's going to be up to you to come up with a solution. Ready? And go! Good. And work it out. What could you do? Good. How could you make this work? Go ahead. Good. What? Stop for a second. Good. What's the possibility? One of you's got to make an offer. What can you do here? You had a bunch of suggestions back here. Which one can you pick? Good. Suggest it. Good. Which one are you going to pick? Just make a decision. Okay. They suggested Maury Povich. Yep. Okay. Did they decide? Give them a round of applause. Nice job. Okay. So whatever we're feeling, we can always make a choice about what we do. And that's what this very final section is about. This last section? Well, and some people say, the section I'm going to show you right now, some people say this happened a long time in the past. Some people say it takes place way in the future. Some people say this next piece never happened at all. But what I think is, whether or not it actually happened, I think it's true. Because this last piece is about something unusual that people in this town found. They called it a glowing gem. Now, this glowing gem, it looked like a jewel, but it gave off warmth and light. And the weird part was this. They found, once they discovered the first one, they found you couldn't buy one. You couldn't sell one. The only way you could get one of these glowing gems is if somebody else decided to give one away. But the weird part they found, the part that was almost like magic, is they found if you had one of these gems and you gave it away, then somehow you wound up with more to give. So people in this town They gave away these gems all the time. They gave them to strangers. They gave them to friends, just because it made people feel good inside. Until one day. That was the day an evil warlock flew over the town. He said, "Look at all those smiling, stupid, happy people. They think these glowing gems make any difference at all? I'm going to show them what the world is really like." He came up with a terrible plan, landed right in the middle of town. And it worked. No sooner did he make believe he was in distress than a kind townswoman walked along. "Excuse me. I'm sorry. I know we haven't met, but you seem awfully upset. What's the matter?" "I don't know. I just feel all terrible inside." "Well, gosh, I don't know you, so I can't guess what's wrong, but here. It's for you." "For me? I've never had one of those before." "Whoa! Well, now that you've been so nice to me, let me tell you a secret. Next time somebody does something like that for you, so you don't run out for yourself, you give them one of these instead." And he pulled out a cold crystal, scratchy, mean. "It's for you." "For me? Oh, really? Oh, thank you so much. Oh, thank you, I think." And the warlock's plan worked. Soon, these cold crystals spread everywhere. People changed. People who used to smile and say hello as they walked down the street, now they didn't even look each other in the eye. Now, when people saw somebody who still looked happy, they would shower them with cold crystals. Ow! Oh, ow, oh, ow! Ow! Until they felt as bad as everybody else. People who still had the gems, well, they stayed home at night, counting up the gems. They were so scared that someone was going to steal one away. But when people stopped circulating the gems, when they stopped giving them away, passing them around, the gems got smaller, smaller, until soon there wasn't a gem left in town. Soon, the only person who even remembered the gems was one old lady who liked to talk about the town. And when she told about these glowing gems, the kids in the town didn't even believe her. They said, "Glowing gems? Duh! Hey, come on. I like the gems. You're a nice lady. Thanks." "Well, you know, I might just have one small gem left." "You're a very nice boy. This is for you." "You have a wonderful laugh. This is for you." "A glowing gem? For me? Whoa! That's incredible. That's amazing. You were such a nice lady. Thank you so. Ooh. How did that happen? Hey, You didn't get one, did you? Hey, don't tell anybody, okay? This is for you. Here. How did that happen? Hey, you take one. You take one. Hey, whoa, 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 whoa! Suddenly, there were more gems in town than anyone knew what to do with. They did the only thing they could. They traveled far and wide. They gave them away. So to wrap up today, there's one last piece to make this work. You notice throughout the show, I've been doing some elements of mime, creating those invisible objects, doing those bizarre. Let's wrap up with one last piece of mime with everybody here. Here's what I want you to do. To create the invisible objects, what I want you to do first is just take one hand, just shake it out for a second. Good. And now reach that hand up nice and high and nice and flat so there's nothing there. Here's what I'm going to do. We're going to take the world's largest pile of glowing gems right back here. I'm going to toss it out to you. When you see one come to you, I want you to track it with your eyes. Make believe you can really see it come to you. When it hits your hand, two things happen. One is the force of it pushes your hand back. The second thing that happens is that the shape of your hand will change to take on the shape of the gem, right? So right now it's nice and flat. Here we go. Ready? And. Oh. Here we go. Ready? Grab a hold. And. Grab it. And now, take that gem. We're going to use a mime pocket, not a real pocket. Use a mime one. So take that hand, stick it way down in the mime pocket, way down the bottom, and now leave the gem behind and take your hand out. Nice and flat though, right? Because the gem is gone now. And now lower your hand down nice and slowly. And two last secrets. Who can tell me? According to the story, if you want more of those, what do you have to do with the one you just got? Give it away. And there's one last secret. If you ever wake up in the morning and you feel like there's not a glowing gem, nothing warm left in the world, all you have to do is this. If you take one hand, reach it inside a pocket, you will always find one more gem. That will always be there as a gift from me to you. That's the end of the show. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I followed the beat, I'm hypnotized by a scream, created by love. This feeling makes me groove. This energy below the forces carry me over the top, not knowing how to stop. I'm hungry. I'm hungry for your touch. rave.